Hello all, welcome to Cooking with Kathy and Friends. There are no friends here today because this is totally impromptu. I wasn't planning on doing this at all today. It's gloomy, dreary, rainy, supposed to be for the next 2 days, chilly, hence the shirt, chilly, the high of 62. So I decided I was going to make some paleo, gluten-free, sugar-free, dairy-free ginger cookies because I love ginger and there's so many healing properties to this root. I just will eat pickled ginger out of a jar after a meal because it's so good for your digestive system if you have stomach issues. It's good for your skin. It's good for a lot of things. It's a healing root is what it is. But I mean, I also buy it in this form. And of course, the powdered ginger is what this recipe calls for. The big secret for this recipe is almond flour. Not almond flour, coconut flour, but it uses almond flour as well. But coconut flour is going to give it a really healthy vibe and good seasoning as well. I found the recipe online. Never made it before. First time right here. It's going to get a sweetness from honey and molasses. So totally natural. A lot of people don't like molasses, love molasses. They're very high in iron. So really, these ginger cookies are good for you. It's a healthy, good snack. I love hot tea and some ginger snaps. It's what I usually eat for my snack at night, after supper at some point. If I can eat these, I eat the gluten-free ginger snaps, but these are even healthier than what I eat because they have added sugar in them. So, just let's see what happens. First time ever making these. If they bomb, you may never see this again. Or they may taste like doo-doo. I don't know. We're going to find out together. Okay, let's get going. Okay, here we go. And I'm not an organized cook. I'm sort of messy, but that's okay. So I've already put in here my flour. 2 1/3 cups of almond flour and a 1/2 cup of coconut flour. So here, that's all that's in this bowl. The recipe will go underneath, so just reach for that. Okay, next is a teaspoon of baking powder. Got baking powder right here. Teaspoon baking powder. Okay. A 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. So I'm just going to take my little teaspoon and just fill it up about a 1/4 ways. Good old cook's guesstimation, and I ran some over. That's all good. Okay, 1/4 cup of bacon or teaspoon of baking soda. A 1/4 teaspoon salt. I can use this little teaspoon in here, and enough to know that this is about a 1/4. Okay. 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, and I think that's exactly what's left in there. So, by eyeballing it, I might even have to add a little. I've got some more in the cupboard. So, there's that. 2 teaspoons ground ginger. Haven't used ground ginger much in cooking. Now, here's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to show you in a minute. 1, I am a ginger freak. The more ginger, the stronger the ginger, the better. So, I'm going to add some fresh ginger to it in a minute. And then nutmeg. 1/2 teaspoon of ground nutmeg, brand new as you see, because I only use nutmeg usually when I'm making apple pies, which, let's face facts, has been a long time. 1/2 teaspoon, did it say? Yep. 1/2 nutmeg. Okay, check. And this is all of the dry ingredients. So I'm going to mix the dry ingredients together as asked. All right? So I'm going to mix those up together. And then you're going to mix the wet ingredients separately. All right? So the wet ingredients is an egg. Now the egg makes it, I know if you have an egg in it, then it's not paleo. And it's not necessarily what you may want for a paleo diet. That's okay. You can use, I have found out in cooking, you can use applesauce in place of an egg. It gives it, it makes the batter stick together the way it should. And it's also gives it a little bit of sweetening, but just throw in some applesauce instead of an egg if that makes you feel better. Okay, 6 tablespoons of coconut oil. I got my tablespoon here, 6 of them. I've got the liquid. It said coconut oil melted. I don't have the solid. I honestly don't know if there's a difference. I didn't read up on it, but I'm going to use just the oil. 6 tablespoons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, good job. Good job. Good job, me. Okay, this is right at 1/4 cup, but I need another tablespoon. So I'll get that in there. 1/2 cup of honey. So I've got my honey here. I do like to buy honey locally because it's better for your allergies. If you within 10 miles of your house, if you have honey that was made locally, it's better for you. So I like to do that. I don't always get to. This one is not local honey because the place where I usually got it didn't make any this year. I think honeybees are scarce. Anyway, so I'm putting that in there. And then molasses. And now I also need 1/4 cup of molasses. So the same amount of molasses as there is honey. 1/4 cup of molasses, 1/4 cup of honey. Molasses has a much stronger taste to it. But really, this honey and molasses is what's going to hold these cookies together. So even if you didn't add the egg, if you're paleo or just a strict vegetarian, don't want any part of an animal, that's fine. You don't have to have the egg. I think it would do just fine without the egg because it's got enough moisture. All right, that is all of my wet ingredients. So it said to mix those. Now, as I told you, I love ginger. I am going to squeeze some of this ginger paste or this fresh ground ginger into there, because to me, the more ginger, the better. If I had some candied ginger, I would put little chunks of candied ginger in it so I could get that with each bite. That's just how much a fanatic I am about ginger. And then all I have to do is pour it into the dry mix and mix it up. It's going to be like a cookie dough, like cookie doughs you buy in the refrigerator section at the grocery store. So it's not going to be something you're going to pour. It's going to be in dough form. Cool. So I'm going to stop right there for this minute, and I'm going to wipe this off. By the way, this is a good little contraption I bought at a kitchen store of mine. This Cat on a Whisk, one of my favorite kitchen stores. You can use it to whip. You can use it as an egg turner, as a spatula. I love this. It's like 2 things in one. Now, as I always have to, I'm just going to get my hands in it and just make sure it's mixed up good, just like I do my biscuits. Oh yeah, it feels good. It feels like chocolate chip cookie dough. That's what it feels like. So I know it's right. And even though there's some dry flour left in the bottom, I think that I've gotten up all the dry ingredients I need to. So I'm going to leave this just like this. And then it said to refrigerate for 30 minutes. That's what I'm going to do before I make the little cookie balls. Okay? See you in a flash. Okay, I have gotten the cookie dough out of the refrigerator. It's been in there for 30 minutes. Here is sugar in the raw. You don't have to use it, but it says the recipe says it gave it a nice crunch on the outside. So I got some sugar in the raw here on my little birthday plate left over for my son's birthday. Okay, so it said just to take an inch and a half ball. And honestly, I don't even know like how big that may or may not be, but that looks about like an inch to me. So I'm gonna take it, I'm just gonna roll it on one side with sugar and then put the non-sugar side down. Again, I use only this non-stick aluminum foil. It is great. You don't have to worry about oil. You don't have to worry about Pam. You don't have to worry about any of the above. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make these inch and a half balls. And they said to leave them in balls, not just splashing them out. I'm going to coat one side with sugar, put them about an inch apart on the cookie sheet, and fill up the cookie sheet. Bake at 350 for 14 minutes. Okay? So let's see how that goes. Okay, I have the cookies out of the oven. I've got my hot tea. It's always the cup I drink out of. I've got my hot tea ready. I've got them out. They're still a little warm. I'll show you a picture of all of them in a minute. They're a little cracked. They said this is normal. So I'm assuming they're not too dry because they said it would be like this. They're called chewy. When you open them up, they look moist in the middle. So now here comes the big test. That is a great taste of ginger. I was thinking right after I put these in the oven, I still think they could be a little moister than what they are now. I don't think it would hurt if you wanted to put some canned pumpkin in there. Or if you wanted just to add some pineapple sauce in there. Anything else to make it a little bit more moisture. But I want to tell you, and maybe even stick a big chocolate chip on top of each. You can make your own. A slice of cherry, whatever. On my floor. But these are really crunchy on the outside, soft on the inside. Delicious.